اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إنه ليس لي علم بموضع رزقي، وإنما أطلبه بقطرات تقطر على قلبي، فأجول في طلبه البلدان، وأنا فيما أنا طالب كالحيران. لا أدري في سهل هو أم في جبل، أم في أرض أم في سماء، أم في بر أم في بحر، وعلى يدي من ومن قبل من، وقد علمت أن علمه عندك وأسبابه بيدك، وأنت الذي تقسمه بلطفك وتسببه برحمتك. اللهم فصل على محمد وآله، واجعل يا ربي رزقك لي واسعا، ومطلبه سهلا، ومأخذه قريبا، ولا تعنني بطلب ما لم تقدر لي فيه رزقا، فإنك غني عن عذابي، وأنا فقير إلى رحمتك. فصل على محمد وآله، وجد على عبدك بفضلك، إنك ذو فضل عظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وجد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك وأتوجه إليك بنبيك نبي الرحمة محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. يا أبا القاسم يا رسول الله، يا إمام الرحمة، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفأنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا أمير المؤمنين، يا علي بن أبي طالب، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا عند الله. يا فاطمة الزهراء يا بنت محمد، يا قرة عين الرسول، يا سيدتنا ومولاتنا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيهة عند الله، اشفعي لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها المجتبى يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا حسين بن علي أيها الشهيد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن الحسين يا زين العابدين يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها الباكر يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا عبد الله يا جعفر بن محمد أيها الصادق يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا موسى بن جعفر أيها القادم يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى أيها الرضا يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا جعفر يا محمد بن علي أيها التقي الجواد يا ابن رسول الله يا حجة الله على خلقه يا سيدنا ومولانا إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن محمد أيها الحاد النكي يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا أبا محمد يا حسن بن علي أيها الزكي العسكري يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. يا وسي الحسن والخلف الحجة أيها القائم المنتظر المهدي يا ابن رسول الله، يا حجة الله على خلقه، يا سيدنا ومولانا، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا، يا وجيها عند الله اشفع لنا عند الله. Ask for your hajat. يا سادتي وموالي إني توجهت بكم أئمتي وأدتي ليوم فقري وحاجتي إلى الله، وتوسلت بكم إلى الله واستشفعت بكم إلى الله، فاشفعوا لي عند الله واستنقذوني من ذنوبي عند الله، فإنكم وسيلتي إلى الله، وبحبكم وبقربكم أرجو نجاة من الله، فكونوا عند الله رجائي. يا سادتي يا أولياء الله صلى الله عليهم أجمعين، ولعن الله وأعداء الله ظالميهم من الأولين والآخرين، آمين رب العالمين.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين، خاتم النبيين أبي القاسم محمد، اللهم صل وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. أما بعد فقال الله تبارك وتعالى وقوله الحق وهو أصدق القائلين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية صدق الله العلي العظيم صلوات بيجمع السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Tuesday night, dua tawassul, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your ibadat, accept your hajat. Inshallah, we will be doing the tafsir of chapter number 101. We've been doing these short tafsir after the dua tawassul program. Tonight, Surah al-Qari'ah, which is chapter number 101 in the Holy Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed a few chapters in this pattern. For example, when he talks about إِنَّا أَنزَلْنَاهُ فِي لَيْلَةِ الْقَدْرِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ الْفِ شَهْرٍ. Here begins الْقَارِعَةُ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ. The calamity, what is the calamity? And what do you know what that calamity is? On that day, human beings shall be scattered like moths, and the mountains shall be fluffs of carded wool in varying colors. Then whose scales weigh heavier shall have a blissful life, but he whose scale weigh lighter, his shall be the deep pit for a dwelling. And what do you know what that is? A blazing fire. Many surahs in Quran address variety of topics, but there are only few that constantly from the beginning till the end stick to one specific topic. Amongst those surahs that talk about from the beginning till the end one specific topic is Surah al-Qari'ah, that speaks of nothing but Qayamat. While you have other chapters that we have discussed in the past that talk about Qayamat in the beginning, but then it talks about the history of one of the prophets. Then it goes and, for example, gives you a ethical, moral value, for example. Here, that's not the case. Quran, when it talks about al-Qari'ah, let's understand these words first. Qari'ah means to knock, means to crush, or to scold. And here, Qari'ah refers to the final call, which will announce the start of the day of judgment. So therefore, one of the names of the hereafter. The repetition of this statement wants us to understand the finality of the day of judgment, when all the false appearances and values will be destroyed and be replaced by the reality that will be shown to us. In Surah Takathur, towards the end, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he says, لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنِ الْيَقِينِ, that they will indeed see Jahim, which is the hell, and they will indeed see this Jahannam, and there's no doubt about it. So the fact of the matter is that after the Qayamat, everyone can see all of these things. What is more important, that you're able to see these things in this life. Because after Qayamat, there's no difference between good and bad. They all be able to see the reality. The important thing is to be able to see the reality now. Because tomorrow, when the veils are lifted, Qayamat, the trumpet is blown, Qayamat comes, reality is shown, everyone will see it. There won't remain anyone who can't see the reality at that time. But does it really matter at that time? What matters is that you're able to see it today. If you can visualize it today, then yes, you're able to do something about it. Kind of like, when you're going to another country, when you go for ziyarat, when you go in for another country for tourism or whatever the case may be, if you know about it ahead of time, if you've been there before, for example, let's just hypothetically, going to Hajj. Someone like me who has been blessed to do Hajj 7 or 8 years in a row, every time I go back, I know what to expect. Because I've been there, I know the ups and downs. I am aware of the difficulties of Mina, Muzdalifah, Arafat. I know how difficult it becomes to do the tawaf on the days of Hajj. That's all is already sunk in. And anyone who has done a Hajj already, when they go the next time, they're aware of it. But the person who's going for the first time, no matter how much you tell them, when they arrive at the scene, they're overwhelmed. Same is the case when we arrive at the juncture of Qiyamah, we should not be overwhelmed. Because the picture has been painted for us already. How many more indications do you need? It said this surah, on the whole, describes the day of resurrection. As I said, no other surah does this. The whole surah is just talking about Qiyamah and the preliminary events of it. On that day, nothing will matter but one's deeds. He whose actions, intentions, and awareness are heavy. فَمَنْ تَقُلَتْ مَوَازِينُهُ. What will happen? That person will be in a perfect state of contentment, while he whose measure is light, whose actions were at loss, in the hereafter will be, of course, destined to a bottomless pit, as it says, Hawiyah. So the overview, by this, by this explanation, you can understand the overview of the chapter is what? Day of Judgment and the signs of the Day of Judgment. What are the signs that are mentioned in the surah? Some of the signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned, it says that human beings will be scattered like moths. You've seen these, moths that are flying around, bugs that are flying around, and they're there for one night and then they're gone. That's all their lifespan is. But they're flying around. And then the mountains shall be like the fluffs. And in some riwayat, actually, they're compared to even the locust. Kal Juradil Muntashir, right? In Surah Qamar, Allah refers to that how human beings will be. They'll be like these caterpillars flying around from the locust family. They'll be just, when you've seen it, if you've seen them, when they're flying, they have the most, there's no control over where they're going, the direction that they're headed to. They're just flying all over the place. He said that's how human beings will be on the scene of Qiyamah, that they'll be all over the place. And then the mountains, they'll become fluffy. Mountains, with that heavy weight of theirs, they'll be flying like fluffy pillows and feathers. That's the scene. So there's some signs of it, and the Qiyamah itself. Surah al-Qari'ah has 11 verses, 36 words, and 152 letters. Objective, the main theme of the surah revolves around Ma'ad and the warning of that day. Contents and the topics of this surah, again, resurrection, the preparation in general for us, what to expect, with the striking expressions and the shocking statement, and an explicit and a clear warning. Nothing to hide. Sometimes you showcase something for someone, you gift wrap it to them. No, it's explicit, it's open, it's wide open, and no one can really miss it, saying that I did not know about this warning. And finally, divides people into two groups, a group whose actions are heavy in the balance of divine justice, and the reward of the life will be complete satisfaction near the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the group whose actions, of course, are light, and their destiny is hot and burning fire of the hell. As far as the features and the virtues of the surah, hadith from Ubay ibn Ka'ab, he says, whoever recites the surah, Surah al-Qari'ah, Allah will make the weight of their actions heavy on the day of judgment. So one way of making your actions heavy is by doing them. You carry out your duty. And by reciting this surah. So you recite this surah on a regular basis, in your wajibat, in your nafilah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be adding your weight, the actions, and the balance of the scale will be tipped in your favor. In another hadith, Amr ibn Thabit narrates from fifth Imam who said, whoever recites al-Qari'ah, God will protect him from the fitna of Dajjal, even if he had brought iman onto Dajjal. You know, as many of us might fall prey and victim to the propaganda of Dajjal, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect that individual. Time and place of revelation, surah was revealed in Makkah. That's obvious. How? The talk of Qiyamah primarily is the discussion of Makkah, not so much the discussion of Medina. So every time you see a surah begins and talks about entirely Ma'ad and Qiyamah and resurrection, you can easily say this surah was revealed in Makkah. And it was between the hijrat of Muslimin towards Habsha and the first Mi'raj of Rasulullah. It was revealed after Surah al-Qari'ah. Surah al-Qari'ah is number 101 in the current order of the surahs in Quran. That if you pick up the Quran, you'll see it's number 101. But it's number 30th in the chronological order of revelation. So as it was being revealed, it was revealed at number 30. There were many discussions and questions among Muslims about the Day of Judgment. You know, still today people question because something which is ambiguous, we haven't seen, no one has gone there to come back and tell us. So you're worried about it. And there were a lot of questions about it and the conditions. Everyone spoke about it to the best of their knowledge. And then some Muslimin came to the Prophet asking their own questions. Instead of Prophet responding to them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the entire surah. Al-Qari'atu mal-Qari'ah wa ma adraka mal-Qari'ah. You ask Prophet about Qiyamah, let us tell you what is Qiyamah. This is what Qiyamah is. So as I said, Qari'ah means to knock or to beat a thing with another. It is also one of the names of Qiyamah since it will start with a knocking screech or cry and has a knocking rat along with it. Mawazin, there's a discussion about it. I won't get into the linguistic aspect of it. Is the plural for mizan. Literally means the scale. Urdu mein hum log jisko tarazu kehte the. In the context, it's the method of weighing the actions of the people. So you need to have, there are two sides of the balance, right? So back in the day, if you remember the tarazu, the weight was already there. 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, 4 kg, 1 pound, 2 pound, a weight. And then that which is being sold, that would be placed on the other side. So you can measure how much it is. So he said the reason it has come as a plural could be that there are different tools for measuring different things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and this is again for our understanding. How is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to measure someone's actions? You measured with some sort of model. So this is the model. Go ahead and compare it with this. If it is fitting this criteria, this person goes to paradise. If it doesn't fit this criteria, this person goes to Jahannam, for example. Hawiya is from Hawa. It is in the meaning of decline and downfall. That's why when we go into ruku and when we go into the sajda position, that is called hawi. And there are rules about that as well. So it's the decline and the suqut and the downfall. Hell is also a place of downfall for many. Hamiya comes from hama in the meaning of extreme heat. Even in Arabic, those who have fever, high fever, hama, I guess that's the word that is used sometimes, or hama. Manfush comes from nafsh, which means to open something or pulling wool so that it could be spread out. What are the messages? I'll conclude in the next minute or so. Qiyamah is a place where the arrogant is beaten up and the arrogance is knocked down. Al-Qari'atu mal-Qari'ah. Arrogant is beaten up and arrogance is, of course, beaten and knocked down. Qiyamah is beyond our comprehension, so these are the means of understanding it. Even the Prophet is questioned. He says, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْقَارِعَةُ. Oh Prophet, what do you know what Qari'ah is? Same way Rasulullah was asked, وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. Oh Prophet, what do you know what is Laylatul Qadr? Similar question is being asked over here. Qayamat is a day of bewilderment and getting lost, kal farashil mabthuth. Everlasting happiness can only be achieved in the hereafter. So if you're looking for it over here, bad news, don't. Because it's not going to be found over here. No matter how much you seek in this world, you'll never be satisfied. No matter how much you gain in this world, you'll never be satisfied. You'll always want more. You know, a millionaire is always looking to get 100 million. 100 million is always looking to get a billion. A billionaire is always, this is a constant upward scale that we're going to. Someone who has 100, he's looking to have 1,000. 1,000 is looking to have, so and so forth. You're never satisfied. That's why you make this dua in dua asr, right? Taqi was dua asr. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min nafsin la tashba. Oh Allah, I seek refuge from the nafs, from the desired la tashba, which can never be satisfied. Which can never be. We read this dua every day. Which can never be satisfied. No matter how much you try to fill this, the desires, they'll never be satisfied. And so it said the success and happiness of this world, alongside with sickness, theft, envy, ishat and radiyah, being content with this world and its luxuries is a sign of a society which wants to live here forever. So don't attach so much to yourself to this world. Lastly, someone insulted Salman al-Farisi. He said, "Who are you? What are you? Chisti, in a very derogatory manner." Salman, of course, was a man of wisdom. He responded by saying, "Beginning of you and I was an impure fluid, and the end of you and I will be a corpse." You're saying, "Who are you? What are you?" The beginning of both of us was najis, and the end of both of us is also najasat, impure, because the corpse becomes what? It becomes najis. Someone touches, you have to do ghusle maseh mayyat. And then he says, this is the world. But the day of judgment, on the day of judgment, man taqulat mawazinahu fahuwa al-kareem wa man khaffat mawazinahu fahuwa al-la'im. Whoever's scale is heavier will be honored, and whoever's scale is light will be humiliated and blamed on that day. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the tawfiq and ability. If the previous surahs did not open up our eyes, hopefully this surah opens our eyes. Hopefully it brings us to our senses. The chapter al-Qari'ah, number 101. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Nabi Allah. Assalamu alaikum ya Habib Allah. Assalamu alaikum ya Khiyaratullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum ya Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ibn Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum wa ala jaddika wa abika wa ala ummika wa akhika wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum ya gharib al-ghuraba. Assalamu alaikum mu'in al-du'afa wal-fuqara. Assalamu alaikum shams al-shumus. Wa anis al-nufus ayyul madfun bi ardi Tusali ibn Musa Rada. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum sahib al-asr wal-zaman. Assalamu alaikum imam al-insi wal-jan. Assalamu alaikum sharik al-Qur'an. Ajjalallahu ta'ala farajak. وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك وجعلنا من أوانك وأنصارك